So it's crazy. That Not Like Us video was pretty dope. I like that shit.
Yeah, that shit like that 30 million now. Jesus Christ.
Did it, did it, did it, did it. People's already calling that a classic and shit.
Definitely. Best song of the year, best video of the year.
Let's see what else is going on. Seen Busta
What's what
Rhymes.
up?
What's up? Seen Busta Rhymes recently made a comment in his concerts talking about niggas on their phones while he
Yeah,
performing and shit.
I don't blame them. They need to. You need to put down the phone. I don't understand like how people view people go to the movie theater, they got their phone on. They go to the concert, they on their phone. Like I don't get it. When I'm out, my phone when I'm at an event, my phone is off. Unless I'm taking video or some pics, my shit is off. I want to
Right.
actually experience the damn concert. You know what I'm saying? When we were going to shows in the '90s, that's what we had. You know what I'm saying? Like there was a time when you couldn't even they wasn't allowing you to in there with a camera, get alone a phone. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And you got to take in the moment and the experience. Like like I've seen many legends. I've seen Big Pun and Biggie. I have no pictures of them because there was no cell phones in, and it wasn't letting you get in there with no cameras to take pictures. So all I have was my memories and my concert tickets
And
for
that's
those
all
early
you need.
90s shows and shit. But you know what I'm saying? People don't know how to take in the moment no more. They want to document everything on their phone. You know what I'm saying? And it's whack. I can't watch no movie with my phone on. You know, some people could do it. I can't do that shit. I want to actually enjoy the damn movie. So I don't blame him. Like he's right. Like get off your damn phone and enjoy the damn show.
Shit. That's just like with last month when Method Man went after Summer Jam and shit, talking about he's not gonna perform Summer Jam again.
Right. Yeah, it's like they want to be on their phone to do what? Unless you're taking video of the performances or pics, why else would you be on your phone? Texting who? Who are you texting and you at an event like that? You seeing the legendary Busta Rhymes on stage. Nobody should be texting you when you're watching.
Antoine, what's up?
If they missed out, that's on them. That's their fault. You know, I don't want to be on the phone when I'm at an event. You know, texting people like, "Oh, this is what Busta's wearing, and he's performing this song, and he did this," and I ain't doing all that. If you missed the show, that's on you.
Yeah, all I'm gonna do is be filming shit
You know,
because I'm not trying to waste my battery either. First of all, and that's the thing. Niggas know I'm at a concert. Yeah, y'all try to call me. That's the gag right there.
I ain't answering. That shit'll be off.
Hell yeah, yeah, that's some shit. Like, bitch, I'm gonna text you about something. gonna start this in about 5 more minutes. I'm gonna
Even
wait for
even
like
if, even if you're doing a live stream, you know how many times I hear your phone be going off when we doing a live stream and shit.
yeah,
People know, like when I'm doing a live stream, I ain't answering my phone. So don't
exactly,
call me when I'm on live. I'm not gonna answer the phone. If you text me, I'm not gonna get back till after the live stream is over. That's just what it
exactly,
is. You know what I mean?
exactly. Cause I always tell motherfuckers like the only person I would talk to on the phone is my mom and some shit like that. That's pretty much it. But anybody else, I'm like, look, I'm not gonna
Nah.
lie.
Even her, like I tell her, like she already know when I be going live. I'm like, if you're not dying, don't hit me up. I'm
Oh
doing a live.
God,
I'll talk to you after the live stream. That's just what it is. I'll talk to you after the live stream. If it's not an emergency, don't bother hitting me up because I'm not gonna answer.
yeah. The reason why I said my mom's because she be talking for like a minute just to check if I'm home or not and stuff like. That's pretty much it. Anything else is just like, yeah, mom, I'm in the middle of a phone call. Talk to you later. Shit.
Justin Timberlake got arrested. So what? Everybody else. It's happened to everybody else. It's not a big thing. They make too much
Exactly.
out of it. He got arrested for drinking. Supposedly he had a drinking problem. So what? He got to deal
That's
with
his
that.
problem. I
Yeah,
don't want to talk about Justin Timberlake. I want to talk about
that
Raekwon.
have
I
nothing to
want to
do with
talk
me.
about.
Like I'm not gonna stop listening to him because he got arrested. So I just think people just need to move on from that.
I want to talk about Wu Tang tonight. I don't want to talk about Justin Timberlake.
Justin
I'm
is
gonna save
tomorrow.
that. Exactly. They just stay tuned on that. That's all I want to say. Jesus Christ. That's the thing about motherfuckers. It's like I understand niggas want to ask us shit, but it's like they don't ask us shit about the artists we
But
talking
it's
about.
not a. It's not a. It's what do I think? I don't care because it's not me. He got to deal with that. So
Yeah, white privilege can't get about this one.
you know he got arrested for drinking. So what? He didn't kill nobody.
There's people who get arrested for shit they didn't even fucking do.
Exactly. That's locked up on wrongfully locked up, and half of their life is gone because they got framed for shit.
Exactly. And y'all want me to talk about Justin Timberlake? Or maybe he shouldn't be talking about Britney Spears and how she should be a good influence. But I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on that. Okay. Yeah, my vacation was pretty good, Q. Thank you for asking.
They're getting that reg for Justin Bieber. What did he say about Justin Bieber? He don't listen to Justin Bieber, so
What?
I,
I, finally, I'm just bent on the fact that finally, after 8 minutes, somebody asked me how was my vacation. That's what I was bent on the fact that like y'all asked me about
no
Justin
idea where this is
Timberlake
coming from. Yo.
and shit like that. Niggas they asked me how was your vacation. Oh, we missed you and shit. Like fuck it. It's like fuck me.
Something about
I don't.
Justin Bieber. Or Kelly produced something for Justin
Right,
Bieber.
like nigga, like damn. I've been gone for like how many weeks? Y'all, that's the first thing y'all want to ask me and
Well,
shit.
I mean, I'm not calling Justin Bieber R&B. He's still a pop artist. He's not an
I don't
R&B
give a
artist.
fuck about them Justins, nigga.
I'm
Fuck
not
them
calling him
Justins.
an R&B artist now. He's done some albums that had an R&B sound, but he's not an R&B artist.
See, that right there is why these next R&B reviews, I'm gonna teach these
What does
niggas
that
what
mean?
real R&B is.
What does that
That
mean?
right.
You don't claim him? What does that mean? I don't understand. You don't claim Justin Bieber?
What the fuck?
What does that mean, Christian?
Oh my god.
Claim him as what? What are you claiming him as? Your son? I don't understand. I don't claim him till journals. What is you mean you didn't become a fan of
Oh
him till journals? That's
man,
what you mean.
don't make me start drinking on the stream again. Yo.
Is that what you mean? You wasn't a fan of Justin until journals came out.
So why he ought to be a fan of him once he starts doing R&B? Well, quote unquote R&B. Excuse me.
Well, hey, some people like different artists at a certain period in their career. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. I've done it too. Like I didn't like NSYNC. I was not an NSYNC fan. The minute they broke up, I became a Justin fan. It happens.
Yeah, I'm good on that, boss.
You know, Justin Bieber made some dope music. I wasn't checking him out either until the what was it that girlfriend song?
Yeah. Yo,
What the
we
boyfriend song? Or
we
I
doing
forgot
a
the name.
music
Huh?
review, y'all. I don't want to talk about this shit today.
Wait, yo, your audience brought him up, so it's not my fault.
I'm not talking about you.
When he did the boyfriend song, like what was that, like 2010? I think
I don't listen to that
that
motherfucker.
that album, the Believe album. He was making some good music. I wasn't a fan of his until when Believe came out. He's had a couple of good albums.
Okay. Well, I respect your opinion.
He said, "I want to give you a request for Lynn Collins."
Okay. Cool.
Who the hell is
James
that?
Brown. James Brown Protege.
Oh,
All right. Well, I'm ready to start whenever you are. Because if I answer another question about either justice, I'm going to scream. What's up, you two? How's everyone doing? It's your boy Reg in the building. I got my homeboy trying to building with me.
yo,
Yes. And I'm back
wow.
after like 3 fucking weeks. You know what I'm saying? Just had to take me a little
How was your
mental.
vacay, Reg? How was your
Oh yeah,
vacation?
thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. It was great.
It
Yeah.
seemed like it's been forever since we've been on here.
Right?
I almost
I've been
forgot
watching.
how to do these reviews, man. I'm getting rusty.
Nigga almost forgot your damn email address and shit. Like but yeah, I went to Tybee Island like about 2 weeks ago
Oh,
and
that's
shit like
nice.
that. You know, I was in Georgia for a little bit then. I was working on some music, got some business shit out the way and stuff like that. Trying to drop some pre-recorded shit. I was trying to work on some stuff too. So just needed a mental break from doing these reviews and these shits too. You know what I'm saying? How you doing?
I'm good, man. It's the it's the summertime now. Great weather we
Right,
having.
right.
Loving it.
Hell yeah, this summer I'm gonna have me some fun.
Yes.
I feel like the past 2 summers I've been working a lot. Oh, I was like, nah, nigga, Reg, I'm gonna have me some fun this summer.
Hmm.
But so the album that we're gonna talk about tonight is Raekwon with his fourth studio album, Only Built for My Cuban Links Part Two. The long-awaited album. This came out September 8th, 2009 on Ice H2O under EMI Records. It came out with singles such as New Woo, House of the Flying Daggers, Walk With Me, Have Mercy, and Catalina. Producers include The Alchemist, Young Justice, BT, Busta Rhymes, Dr. Dre, Eric Sermon, Ice Water Productions, Jay Dilla, Mark Batson, Marley Marl, Mathematics, Moss, Necro, Pete Rock, Raekwon, RZA, who's an executive producer, and Scram Jones and True Master. Producers include Papa Wu, Ghostface, Method Man, Super Bang Bang, Inspector Deck, RZA, Tash Mahogany, Jada Styles P, Beanie Siegel, Blue Raspberry, Capadonna, Life Jennings, Jizza, Master Killer, Slick Rick, Busta Rhymes. And I think that's it. All right, so a little disclaimer I want to say. So this is like the first Wu review I've done in a minute and shit like that. And I said to y'all I was gonna do some Wu reviews. Definitely between the Iron Flag and 8 Diagrams. And if you guys realize, I've not really been in a rush for those because I'm just gonna keep it a buck with y'all. A lot of those Wu albums sucked. I'm gonna be real with you. I just keeping it real. We've talked about a few of them, like Method Man's to Cal prequel, which I did not like. Raekwon's Lex Diamond story. What else? Capadonna's The Yin and the Yang, which was so fucking bad. But we've had some good reviews too. Like that period, it gave us Ghostface's the Bulletproof Wallets, Free Tony, Fish Scale, um, Master Killers, No Set Date, which I definitely have to talk about. That's definitely going to be one of the next reviews. I would even throw in GZA's Legend of the Liquid Sword, the Grandmaster's album. Like there was some good stuff, you know what I'm saying? But we're definitely getting to a less consistent part of the Wu. And I know what you guys are asking. Well, why are you talking about this album, even though it came out 2 years after Eight Diagrams? Well, two reasons. One, I want to come start it off with a bang. You know, coming back from the vacation. And two, because I did say I was going to actually get in my hands on this album before I got it. And two, I did skip around and did like a lot of Ghost albums too. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know what? I can skip around and cheat a little bit and do a Raekwon album. And this album was pushed back a couple times. I will talk about that in a minute. So starting with the review, so you guys should know who Raekwon is. You know what I'm saying? One of the members of the Wu-Tang Clan fucking dropped one of the greatest hip hop albums of all time, Only Built for My Cuban Links. You know what I'm saying? 1995 classic album and shit too. Also in 1999, he dropped Immobilarity, which is his second album. Which I know a lot of people like that album, but I'm not really a big fan. I mean, it grew on me in recent years. You know what I'm saying? But it's not really like one of my go-tos. And then you have 2003 with the Lex Diamond story, which I did not like that album one bit, to be real with you. He was trying to do some commercial shit with that one. And I've talked about all three of those albums. So after the release of that, you know what I'm saying, he pretty much left Universal and stuff like that too. And he pretty much said that the Lex Diamond story had a low promotional budget. And he wanted to work on Only Built for My Cuban Links Part 2 because at this time he had gotten a deal with Aftermath Records, and originally Busta Rhymes was going to be the executive producer of this album. Which I'm going to be real with you, I'm kind of glad that did not happen because at that time Busta was himself was kind of inconsistent. You know, even though the Big Bang, he came out with the Big Bang in '06 and shit like that too. You know, he already dropped the Genesis and it ain't safe no more. And mind you, the Big Bang itself was pushed back a couple times too. And also Raekwon, he wanted to get this album just right. So he wanted to rework and rewrite this album, which it took him a couple of years to get it done and stuff like that too. So pretty much he was in Aftermath Records, and you know, with Raekwon, we were working on the album, and you know, Dr. Dre being the perfectionist that he is, the album just kept getting pushed back, and it was
It
actually
was
revealed.
pushed back for a whole decade, though. It seemed like.
And
Yo, you
get
remember
this,
when Raekwon was doing so many joints that he had to release the mixtapes, like the Vatican mixtapes and all that?
yeah, yeah,
Like all of those songs were part of the Cuban Link 2 sessions.
oh
I
yeah,
used to
you're
go
right
to
about
Fat Beats, and I would go to Fat Beats, and Fat Beats would have like the promotional poster in their store, and we were waiting forever for this album, and it seemed like it would never come out. And Busta Rhymes was fucking up his own albums, and I was like, why did Raekwon let Busta Rhymes executive produce his own album? When people you have high expectations for this sequel because of how groundbreaking the first album was. You're gonna let
right.
Busta Rhymes executive produce your own album when he's fucking up his own shit. So that never made sense to me.
Yeah, I'm kind of grateful that it happened like that. It didn't happen like that because of the fact that Busta Rhymes, even himself, his own flip mode artist too, man. They always fell by the wayside and shit like that too.
Yep.
Like all them niggas, like Lord have mercy, Raw Digga. You know what I'm saying? It's like they all
Yo,
could have been.
I wanna do an interview with Rampage because he follows me, and he's
Mhm.
always like sending like spiritual messages in my DM. But I seen Buster put up something like last week that he got flip mode coming back.
Man, we'll
It was
see.
like some video they were like all at a hotel or something, and all the members were there.
We'll see. But anyway, yeah, man. So get this. So pretty much Dr. Dre and Raekwon parted ways, and you're gonna laugh. The reason why they parted ways was because Dre got tied up with Detox.
He got tired of Detox, and he's the one that took forever to not release it.
The album that never came out.
It
But
came out,
anyway,
and he took years to not release that.
so as you know, he was working on his album. 2007 happened, and pretty much Raekwon, Ghost, and RZA were kind of going at it and stuff like that to do to the director of the Eight Diagrams album, which that's all we're gonna talk about very soon and stuff like that. So they pretty much, kind of took a little break from RZA's input, which meant that the album got pushed back again. It got pushed back more and shit. This led to some more promotional single, the real official first single coming out in 2009, called originally it was called Woo Ooh, but then they retitled it called New Rule. You know what I'm saying? And this was supposed to signify Ray, Method Man, and Ghost have like their own like kind of super group. Because I think around that time too, they had dropped that Wu Massacre album.
Yes.
That was like 1 year later, which
Mhm.
I'm gonna be real honest with you. That album, it could have been a little bit better. It could have been. It was good,
I
but
like it. It seemed like that release came out of nowhere. I didn't hear
yeah,
no news about it or anything.
yeah. I mean, it was okay, but it was just like it's not like the best thing since sliced bread. I'm just gonna be real with you. But that's not. It's like it's like a format, but we'll talk about that when we talk about it. So yeah, so it got to the point where it was just like in 2009, Busta Rhymes, he pretty much like left Aftermath and stuff like that too, and which means he was no longer the executive produce the album and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So this led to more expectation and Raekwon doing more press releases. This album got so infamous that it was on plenty of anticipated albums from like '07 to like '08. But long and behold, in September of '09, this album finally came out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Critically acclaimed. It even did some good numbers commercially as well too. Peaking at number 2 on the top rap albums and R&B hip hop albums at that time too, and even peaked at number 4 on the Billboard 200 too. So niggas were waiting for this album, and when it comes to this album was so hyped that it kind of started a little trend. How a lot of rappers was dropping sequel albums out of nowhere, like Reflection Eternal dropped the Train of Thought 2 album. What else? Marshall Mathers LP 2 with Eminem. You know what I'm saying?
That was okay. That wasn't great.
Yeah, that was okay too. What else? What else? What else? Somebody else. Um,
AZ,
Sadat X. You know what I'm saying? Sadat
Rock Cowboys too.
Cowboys 2. That was trash.
They're not like that.
You know what I'm saying? You said AZ.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that dude that was years down the line too. But that was even though that was pushed back too. But that was still a good album. That was a great album though. But a lot of those sequel albums kind of like fell below expectations and shit. And it got to the point where it's just like, would y'all really call Only Built for Cuban Linx 2 like the best sequel album in hip hop?
Yeah. Do you want to include Weezy the Carter series and Jay
Oh, what?
in Lifetime?
Oh yeah, the
Those
Carter
would be
Carter 2
the
and 3.
best.
Yeah.
Like when we talk about sequel albums, those are the best at the top. We get to Blueprint trilogy was terrible. I only liked the first one.
Right.
Um, even with Wayne now, it's like he's about to drop Carter 6. I think it's about
Jesus
time to
Christ.
end that series. End that
Man, you
series.
should have ended that shit years ago, man. Come on, Wayne.
He's going on with it for too long. It's time to end it. Um, but like, yeah, AZ Doled Out too was dope. This album, I'm trying to think of like other good ones because there wasn't a lot. There was a lot of
Right.
people dropping shit, including Nicki. Nicki came out with Pink Print 2, and
Exactly.
that was, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's hard to do a sequel album that's gonna live up to the original,
Right.
you know.
But it's all good though. So we're gonna talk about the OG 22 song edition and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, I don't have this album, but hey, that is not gonna stop us. I love them paying homage to the original album cover with this time in purple. You know, giving that purple tape feel. You know what I'm saying? I kind of dig that shit. All right. So track number one, Return of the North Star featuring Papa Wu. Rest in peace, Papa Wu, by the way. Um, so this pretty much picks up right after the first Cuban Links left off. You know what I'm saying? With the North Star song, which I love that record. To me, that's like one of the best outros in hip hop history. You know what I'm saying? The way how they flip that Barry White sample is amazing. Then Papa Wu, you know what I'm saying? Just like offering more of his 5% knowledge and whatnot too. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Raekwon doing this thing too. Like this definitely gives like a gangster movie sequel kind of feel to it. You know what I'm saying? Like this definitely is one of my favorite. This is how you start a sequel album, y'all. Like, come on, this is fire, fire.
Yeah, this was dope. You know, it was something different for Ray to start off the sequel with the last track from the first album, and you know, bringing Papa Wu back. Rest in peace to Papa Wu. And he's just basically giving his words of wisdom. You know, like watch the tricks, because you know the tricks is a lie and the lie is a thief. You know, keep a law in your heart, and you won't fail. And just you know, dropping gems that you know that he like he did on the last track on Cuban Link, and you know I thought it was a good way to you know start the album. Well, Papa Wu, he started off the Wu Tang Forever album, right? Was he on? He was on the intro.
Yeah,
Yeah. So he's on the intro for this. You know what I mean? And, it was good to that Raekwon did that. You know,
yeah, this is definitely a dope track indeed. Track number two, House of the Flying Daggers featuring Ghostface, Inspector Deck, and Method Man. This was produced by the late great Jay Dilla. Nice way to kick off the album, if you ask me. I love the fact that they threw in the Chinese martial arts movie samples in the beginning and everything like that too. Just vintage Wu Tang. It's kind of crazy too because the verse that Raekwon did was not like the original verse that was supposed to have been on the song, and apparently Method Man he said, and I quote, "I was trying to make it sound like a record, so I copied the flow and everything that Ray did in his original verse. They changed his verse. You know, usually they say when a nigga changes verse, he's feeling like, nah, this nigga ain't going to fucking get me on my own shit. Pretty much like the Meth versus Chef track, because
that
you guys know like a lot of your Wu history. You would know that sometimes um RZA will make the Wu members battle each other for certain beats and shit, and that inspired the Meth versus Chef song on the Takao album and stuff like that. Which I don't give a fuck what nobody say because you know these stupid ass hipsters want to say it's not a classic. That album is a hip hop classic, front to fucking back, classic,
now.
classic,
It is now.
classic.
I felt like it was underwhelming when it first came out because we didn't expect the dark sound of it. Like I expected like the big collabs. So it was underwhelming for me. Like it took a while for me to get into that album. Very underwhelming, but because of his discography so shitty, it became a classic.
Right.
But I didn't feel like it was a classic when it came out though.
I understand that. I can understand some because, like I said, that's how classics work. Over time, people
Right.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
It has a
Yeah, I
timeless
mean,
quality.
like we were anticipating this album because he was already, Method Man was already like a huge hit. He was like the most recognizable face in the clan at that point, and then All I Need comes out with Mary, and that blows up, and he gets a Grammy for that. So we were anticipating the album, but the way that it sounded, I didn't think it was gonna sound so dark. You know what I'm saying? Like I expected that from like maybe Jizza's album or one of the other clan members, but because of his discography being so bad after the first two albums, I think that's why it became a classic. You know what I'm saying? Because like if I had my choice, I still like part two over part one. I think the Cal 2 was better with the production and just too many damn skits, but I like that album more. But his first two to me are his best shit in his discography.
Yeah, I'm not mad about that because I think in recent years I felt like conceptually Takal 2 is his best album, but artistically, no, excuse me, lyrically, Takal 1 is a notch above. It's kind of weird though. It's kind of
Yeah.
weird though.
And if
But
you
back to the
notice, he
House of
didn't
the
come out
Flying
with a lot of
Daggers, I
singles from
definitely
that first album. He came out with Bring the Pain, All I Need, and Release Your Dope. That was it.
right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because they're just trying to test the waters too. But
Right.
the House of the Flying Daggers song, I definitely feel like they all went in. I feel like Ghost had the best verse. So I love the line where he says, "Treacherous bank robbers, the plane go dub. We pop guards. The team gotta eat. Seeds is hungry. That's why we ain't scared to dump on niggas. Our guns is chunky." He definitely went in on this track right here. So fire.
This was dope. I remember I want to say this was the first single. There's a video for it. It's like animated. And when I heard this song, I thought RZA actually produced it because it sounded like a RZA beat. I didn't know it was Dilla. And
Yeah.
that just goes like Dilla was just such a genius that he could make a track and you would think it sounded like somebody else. And it was dope. Method Man, I liked his verse on that. I gotta go with Deck. I think Deck had the best verse. And he said, I pop off like a mobster boss. Angel here with the lobster sauce. Summertime can't top the scorch. Check my hot broad. I dropped the push. FBI want to watch the force. Trying to lock my source where I'm from. Here the max text Glocks and force. Loved his verse, but everybody killed it. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like a true like Wu type of sound to kick off this album, and I thought it was dope.
Right. Yeah, definitely a fire joint, in my opinion. All right. Moving on to the next song, Sunny's Missing. Love this record right here, man. This record I kind of wish was a bit longer. This one was produced by Pete Rock. You know what I'm saying? Who did some shit on Immobilarity. My favorite track on that album, that Sneakers
Yeah,
joint.
sneakers. That's my
Ooh,
joint.
yeah. It's either that track or Walk in New York. That's my favorite. But
Yes.
yeah, this is pretty much Raekwon going after a drug dealer, of course, named Sonny and stuff like that too. Vintage Raekwon, vintage Rue. You know what I'm saying? Just doing his best to interrogate the fuck out of him. It's a nice storytelling track. That's one thing about Raekwon though. His storytelling is always on point.
Definitely, definitely love the Pete Rock beat. Pete Rock, my favorite producer all time. Definitely had a great beat on here. The horns, the bass line, and just a dope storytelling track by Ray. Ray just doing the vintage storytelling, and it was fire.
Yeah, I definitely feel you on that. All right, next song we got is excuse me, Pyrex Vision. Another one of my favorites. That another it's kind of like an interlude slash
Yes.
song though. It was produced by Marley Marl, who
Marley Marl.
hip hop legend.
Yes.
The primo before primo. That's all I have to say. And honestly, if you ask me, controversial opinion,
Mhm.
I always say Marley Marl was the godfather of boom bap. I always say that.
Right.
But with this beat sound like something I would hear Capone Noriega on. It has like a redefined sound like from the War Report and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
And Raekwon on his cocaine talk and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Have some very like tripped out lyrics and shit. You know what I'm saying? Very, very, very dope track. Love it.
You've heard this. This sample was used by OC on Jewels. That's on the title track.
That's why it sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Primo used the same sample, but Marley Marl, I think like he might have like used it on like a different speed. It's like a little bit faster on here. But yeah, this was dope for like was it like 50 seconds? you know,
Hmm?
um, Marley Marl, legendary producer, loved his that beat and Ray giving that coke talk. It's on get the baking soda dumping. How many niggas are pumped to get 80 more, get it jumping, live by the code now we dumping. They can take this, fuck around and taste the flake, bitch, who dunking. I love this flow on this. 50 seconds. It's only Ray and Ghost could do that. There's not too many people in the game that could do a 50-second song and make it fire. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? 50 seconds. That's all he needed for this. And it could have been a whole song. He said, nah, let's just make it less than a minute. I'm going to say what I say and it's going to be fire. And it was dope.
Yeah, man. Now these days, that's like a norm these days, especially like with the Griselda sound and shit.
Yeah. I feel like they were influenced by Ray and Ghost. Like they have short songs too that West Side Gun
Right.
and Way have done, but Ray and Ghost like they the masters of doing that shit.
Definitely. All right. Next song, "Cold Outside," featuring Ghostface and Super Bang Bang. One of my favorites of this album, if you ask me. Very cinematic track and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Super Bang Bang. He killed that fucking hook. You know what I'm saying? He killed that fucking hook. Now I wish this kind of was a single, like an underground single. You know what I'm saying? Just talking about growing up in them streets and shit like that, trying to do what you can do to survive. Very, very, very dope track. One of my favorites.
Yeah, this was dope. The beat was fire. It was soulful with the dude on the chorus, and this was an album band right here.
Definitely. All right. Next track is Black Mozart. You know what I'm saying? Very, very, very dope track. It uses the sample of the Godfather theme song and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It features Inspector Deck, RZA, and Chash Mahogany and shit too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I love this record.
this was fire too. Definitely like the beat for this. That loved this verse on here. This was dope.
Definitely. All right, track number 7, Jihad featuring Ghostface. This is
Jihad.
produced by Jihad, excuse me.
Yeah,
This is produced by Necro and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Necro on a Wu Tang. That's crazy.
right.
That's like a match made in heaven right there.
Oh yeah.
So this is definitely vintage storytelling right here. You know what I'm saying? Ray tells a story, about surviving that street life and shit like that, trying to do his best to get his name out there. But to me, the real scene stealer was Ghostface, which Hip Hop DX marked this verse as the verse of the year and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like a funny verse where he's talking about fucking talking about getting caught getting a blowjob from like his homies like girls like that
Right.
too. And then having him on gunpoint. And I love the line where he says, "That's right, suck that dick, get it hard for me. Pyrex in one hand, large amounts of gram in it, rocked up. And she pregnant, my little man got her knocked up. He popped up. Oh shit, I'm a crooked like a crooked cop. Richard Gere, big smirk on, getting my cock sucked. You know what I'm saying? That's that vintage ghost face right there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, not a bad track. I love this one.
Yeah, this was fire. I love the beat, the necro beat, and you got like that little like Bali Middle Eastern chant loop going on it, and you know, Ray saying since rap got locked right before we visit the '90s, chef in the kitchen cooking up the crimes. It's late for a dime season. We bought the crib next to Bill Clinton mother because she fucked with the Chinese. Loved his opening verse, and you know, Ray Ghost killed it, and yeah, this was dope. This definitely should have been like an underground singer. Love Necro. Prefix for Death was fire. And I Need Drugs. The Die album. Always loved his stuff.
Definitely. All right, next song, New Rule. You know, this features Method Man and Ghostface. This is like the first single off this album and whatnot. This one was pretty okay too. This was pretty dope. The original sample, I think the original sample that they used was the Magic Tones. It was a Magic Tone sample and shit too. So love the sample that they used. Nice little first single. You know, this was pretty ill.
Hey, this was dope too. Definitely a fire beat. You know, I like that loop that they had on it as well. The singing loop on it was fire. Meth killed it on the chorus. Tell a friend, it's that symbol again. That W coming through. What's the shot on your block? Give me your suit. Loved his chorus, the verse on it that he did. He was really the star of this joint, even though it's Ray's song. But Method Man really was the star of this song, and it's not a surprise. He's done this many times, and everybody on here killed it. And they have a video for this also because this was like
Mm.
one of the first singles on here, and it was dope.
Right. All right. Next song, Back and Crack. No, excuse me, I skipped one. Penitentiary is the next song, featuring Ghostface. Um, yeah, this one was like another pretty dope track too, self-explanatory and everything. Rain Ghost doing their thing.
Yeah, this was dope. I like the beat for this. You know, Rich Rain Ghost going back and forth, and it was like vintage Rain Ghost on here.
Definitely, definitely. Track number 10 is Back and Crack. This was produced by Eric Sermon. Another one of my favorites on this album. You know what I'm saying? Again, that drug fucking talk, you know, Ray always does. I love his flow on this track. This track definitely focused, man. That flow was definitely on some good points. Eric Sermon definitely did his thing on the beat too, so I love it.
Dope Eric Sermon beat. He had like that Def Squad flavor to this track, and you know Ray just kicking that coke talk again. Yo, the shit's love shakes in dimensional caps. You want sick love, buy like one invincible pack. Get this stuff, you can see residuals back. You just a dig thug, you can't even hit me with facts. Love this flow on this, and it's a short track, but for the amount of time that he had, he killed it. And you know, Eric Sermon, legendary producer, one of my favorites all time. This was fire.
Yeah, definitely fire. Track number 11, Surgical Glove. Produced by the Alchemist. Um,
It's my drink.
yeah, man, this joint's fire.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. Definitely a fire joint. One of my favorite beats from the Alchemist, and it's kind of crazy too because there was an interview he did and shit like that too. He talked about the beat, and it was like a very. He said it was like a very like distinctive beat for him, and he liked the way how he was talking about how he liked the way Raekwon approached it because he said how Raekwon always like knows about. He said, and I quote, I didn't think anyone would see the science behind that beat. It's like when producers come through certain producers, they see the science behind the beats they came. That's what we do and shit. So yeah, man, he definitely just gave a shout out to Raekwon on that track. So I mean, they all did their thing on that track. I mean, Alchemist, man, To me, he's like one of the best producers of this
Definitely,
generation right now. So ain't
definitely.
nobody touching albums.
He can't do. To me, he's the best producer in this era. Like he cannot do no wrong. Anything that he's done, whether it was for Griselda or Currency or Freddie Gibbs, Earl Sweatshirt, Larry June, he has done everything and it's been phenomenal. He's been on a phenomenal run. You know what I'm saying? And I don't see nobody touching him right now. And this beat was fire. This is like vintage Alchemist. There's a video for this also. This was a single. Um, Ray killed it. He said, where the food at? Put jewelry on. I got to do that. Long thing hatchet, flooded up. You need a baby blue nut, stones on the nozzle stick, bulletproof broccoli with the blue bitches. All I got is two cracks. I love his flow in this, and it was a different type of sound for Ray. He was trying different things with this album, and I love it. I think it's one of the best songs on this album.
Yeah, definitely a fine ass song and shit. Next song is called "Broken Safety," featuring Styles P and Jadakiss. I'm gonna be real with you. This is like one of my least favorite songs on this album.
It is,
You know
and
what
I'm
I'm saying?
surprised because I love Jada and Styles, but I didn't care for the beat.
Thank you. The beat sounds more like D Block than Wu
Yeah,
Tang.
it sounded more like a D Block sound, a song that they gave to Ray.
Right. And also too is just like I know they came out with that Wu Block album. I think like a year or 2 years after this one,
Mhm.
and that would have fit more on that.
Yeah,
You know, what I'm saying? I mean, lyrically they all did their thing, but it's just the beat from Scram Jones that sounds
yeah,
more deep blockish. I'm just like, okay, y'all.
mhm, yeah, and the Wu Block album was fire. I enjoyed it. My only issue for that was it wasn't enough Wu members on there, but
Yeah, that's my issue too.
this song could have easily fit on that album. But I love the way that it started off with Jada. Jada's verse was fire. No surprise, because he always kills any feature he's on, and I love Jada's verse, and just the beat to me was not good. I didn't like it for this track. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But anytime you have Jada and Styles do a feature, especially with like Ray and Ghost, they gonna kill it. So
Yeah, I definitely agree with you about that. Track number 13, Candle Street. This is another pretty decent track on this album
now
too. Canal Street, excuse
that
me.
that's a
Thank
real
you.
that's a real street in New York City, in Manhattan.
Oh, for real? Oh, that's what's
Yeah,
up.
it's a real street.
Yeah, man.
Wait, if you ever seen, like, you ever heard about, like, when people go to Chinatown and they get like the
Yeah.
counterfeit Gucci bags and belts and stuff. Canal Street is a part of Chinatown.
Oh, okay, bad.
Yeah.
And I went to Chinatown years ago before. So
Okay. In New York?
yeah.
Oh yeah. So then you've been on Canal Street more than likely.
Mm-hmm. What up, Ray Sean? How you doing?
They showing what up.
What up, Dark? All right. So yeah, this song was pretty decent, man. Definitely dope track right here.
Yeah, I love it. The beat was fire. The horns. The sample was also used by Fat Joe on he had a song with MOP on I think it was Jealous One Still Envy. Forgot the name of the song though, but they used the same sample for that track. But
I
this was
know what.
dope. Huh? I forgot the name of
I
that
know,
song.
yeah, me too.
Yeah. Um there's a video for this too. This was like an underground single.
Yeah.
Ray did his thing though. He said, back to slinging every 45 minutes. G's flinging. Fiends is in the building ODing. The drugs is in the ground. Burners on the side of our legs. It's gonna happen, so we low keying. Loved his flow on this. This is like, again, Ray with the coke talk. Just phenomenal.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you about that. Now, probably my third favorite track on this album, Ason Jones. This was like his dedication to the late great Old Dirty Bastard, and it was produced by the late great Jay Dilla. So it kind of has an eerie feel to it. You know what I'm saying? So very, very, very dope track. You know, just capturing that ODB spirit, talking about how they grew up together, how they met. You know, coming off. You know, talking about how they had their first rap group and stuff like that. Because you gotta remember, like Old Dirty Bastard before he became the shimmy shimmy ya nigga. They said that he really wasn't like on that 5% shit. Like he like just imagine like some X Clan esque like Kim Shabazz,
Yeah,
cats like that. You know what I'm saying? But 'cause I think it's crazy because I think it was somebody from the X Clan did an interview and they talked about Old Dirty Bastard. How they felt like once ASON became ODB, it kind of felt like he sold out. But if I find that interview, I'm gonna send it to you. If I find out, I'm gonna send it to you. But it's a very interesting interview. But yeah, this was a very dope track right here. You know what I'm saying? You can definitely feel the emotion on this track, and yeah, I love it.
there's a video for this. Raekwon was dropping a lot of videos for these, for some of these songs. There's a video for this song. Um, I love this is like the ODB tribute from him, and I love the fact that he did a whole song to his boo brother. And I felt like when ODB passed away, like they lost the heart and soul of Wu Tang. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't really the same after that. His passion, and I've seen Wu Tang with ODB, and they were, he was crazy. You know what I'm saying? That show that I seen them in, he was fighting with fans in the front row. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how crazy he was. But he was, for all the crazy shit that he did, he was still talented. Nobody sounded like him, and I think that was like part of his whole name. Like there's no flaw to his style. Nobody sounded like him on the mic. His
Right.
stage presence. Nobody was had that type of presence like ODB. You know what I'm saying? And him speaking from his heart about anything. He didn't care. Like he get on MTV Raps and you know that famous episode where he went to cash in his WIC checks and welfare checks and all that. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't care. He be the first one to tell you like, yo, he got gonorrhea from the same bitch. You know what I'm saying? Twice. You know what I mean? And he just he was always, real with everybody that he came across, and they lost a legend. And this song was great, and having Dilla, another legend that we lost, do the beat. This beat was actually on Donuts. This was a
Yeah,
part of the
yeah,
Evolution album. For anybody that has Donuts, this was on Donuts. And Ray just picked the perfect beat to dedicate this whole song to ODB, and he said, it's like wealth ain't enough to live for, but if you got love in your heart, just believe in yourself. That was the Black Man rap, Baby Jesus in the Black Land, few jewelry pieces with his gold fans. His fan loved it, and it was the perfect beat to do this tribute to.
yeah. I definitely agree with you about that, bro. Like that Donuts album. A lot of people are still getting beats from that
Yeah,
album to this day.
yeah.
Shit, very dope song. Next song is "Have Mercy," featuring Blue Raspberry and Beanie Siegel. Um, this song was pretty decent too. You know what I'm saying? This was, of course, post. This was damaged voice Beanie Siegel. I hate to say it. You know what I'm saying? Like post '05 Beanie Siegel is just being honest. I'm just like
Yeah.
shit. Oh goddamn. But
Did you see that video I sent you with him and Freeway?
yeah, I saw that shit.
I don't know if that's new or what, because he didn't sound like his voice was fucked up in that video.
Yeah, I definitely gotta check it out. I definitely gotta check it out again. Probably do some research on that. But you're right about that. You're right about that. Maybe he's making some improvements. You never know.
Yeah,
You never know. But that did look fairly recent, in
it
my
did.
opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
All
This
right.
was good.
Yeah, very dope track.
Beans killed it. Is that Blue Raspberry singing?
Yes. Hold
Yeah,
on. Yes, it is.
yeah. Blue Raspberry, highly underrated. I felt like they didn't put no promotion into her. You
Nah.
know, she definitely has like a distinctive voice when she sings, and she was dope on it, and the beat was fire. This was a dope track.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you about that. Alright, next song is called 10 Bricks, featuring Cap and Ghostface. Very dope track right here. The dynamic trio. You know, you have your Meth, Ghost, and Ray, but no one talks about Ghostface and Cap like that. You know what I'm saying? And these
Right,
motherfuckers had some of the best songs on Only Built for Cuban Links, Iron Man. I would even throw in Wu Tang Forever too. You know what
for
I'm
sure.
saying? But y'all motherfuckers sleep on Capadon. I'm just gonna say that right now. Yes, I'm not gonna lie. His discography, post the pillage, is kind of hit or miss. But when Cap puts in work, he puts in work and shit. Because the pillage itself is like one of the best Wu affiliate albums of that time. Because especially in '98, when like a lot of the principal members was kind of dropping underwhelming shit. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like, but back to this track right here. This is pretty ill. You know what I'm saying? I felt like they all did their thing on this one. This is another beat produced by Jay Dillon too. So yeah,
Yeah, the beat is bananas. Like again, it has that Wu sound. So like when you hear it, it don't sound like a Dilla beat. It sound like maybe True Master or Mathematics or RZA did it. But the beat is fire. You know, Ghost did his thing. He said ain't this ain't for the love of Ray J. It's for the love of the AK because you can get scratched like AJ. Like Dynasty has emerged. This rap should stop. I have a team of niggas moving my furs. I loved it. Um, you know, Kappa did his thing. Ray, this was fire.
definitely, man. I remember that show For the Love of Rage, and that was
Yeah,
that VH1 shit.
yeah.
They were just giving away reality shows at that time, like Oprah was giving away cars and
That's how
shit.
Ray J had to maintain being popular on it. I was like the reality show king.
Right.
You know what I mean?
See,
He did like so many shows. And I'm like, what about the music? People like he can actually sing, and people would never know it because they saw used to seeing him on VH1 or loving basketball, loving hip hop or some shit. You know?
right. Definitely, man. See, kids, all you have to do is put out a sex tapes, and all your dreams will come true.
Yeah, but don't make the other bitch famous though. That's the main.
Like, that's funny. You made a rich white girl get more richer. How
Right,
you do that? Come
exactly. More
on, man.
famous than you.
Come on, Ray. I got to put my shit in a sharp voice. Come on, man. All right. Track number 17, Fat Lady Sings, produced by True Master. Um, yeah, this one was another. I forgot how dope this track was. I'm not gonna hold you
Right.
to be real. See, it's like this album has so many fucking songs, man. It's like you know when an album has like 20 or some songs and shit. You listen to an album, it's just like damn. Then this shit has some fillers. I
It's
mean, this shit
really
has
30 songs. It's really a triple album this nigga gave us.
right.
That's not even like the 30 songs. You don't get the full 30 on the regular edition. It's like you got to get like the European edition.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, I'm not mad about that. I'm not mad, but yeah, this one I definitely had to put on the same length, at the same length as Cold Outside for that the cinematic aspects of this album and shit too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, this was a very dope track.
This was dope. I like the beat for this. You know, it was a short track, but Ray did
What?
his thing. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just got distracted on the comments and shit. I was like, Blocker talking, like, can I talk to you, man? Like, I can't just DM each other. Let me stop. Let me stop. I'm joking, but I was gonna ask you something. Since we're on the topic of productions, who do you think? Which producer do you think had the best beats on this album?
On this album, I
Yeah,
think Dilla for sure.
Okay.
Um, see, this one is different. It's an assorted bunch because like RZA just did all the production for the first one. Now
Yeah,
you bring
we'll talk about.
Dre and Pete Rock. Only person missing on here was Primo. That was the only person missing.
Well, Primo was probably late because you know how Primo is and shit. They say he's always late delivering some beat.
Right. You know, you had Scram Jones, you had Eric. There's so many different producers on here, but I think the Dilla tracks stand out because like they don't sound like Slum Village Dilla. They don't have like that tribe sound. They have like a Wu Tang sound, and he might have did that on purpose. You know,
Yeah.
like this project, he might have been like, yo, like like, but he had already passed away when this album came out. So I'm assuming Ray picked those beats before he passed away.
Possibly. Yeah. Hmm.
And but it like the ones that Ray picked out, it has a Wu Tang sound to them. So they don't sound like Ray is rhyming over like a beat that was made for Slum Village or made for Common or something.
Well, see, that's the thing with Jay Dilla. That's one thing I always respect about him because when he works with a certain artist when he was alive and whatnot, he made sure that they didn't sound like they were coming from like a certain lot and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Because let's look at somebody like Cool and Dre, for instance.
Oh
You know what I'm
wow,
saying? Kind of.
Cool and
And
Dre.
yeah,
Lord.
because like a lot of them beats and shit that they did, you can easily tell that you can easily see Fat Joe rapping on some of the beats, or
Or
even
Rick
Rick
Ross.
Ross.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause those were like his. Them Fat Boys were his two favorite ones and shit. You know what I'm
right. Ironically,
saying? Like shit. And you know, when them Fat Boys get too full and shit like that, he tries to give the leftover takeout trays. And
right.
so that's one thing. That's one thing these producers do. It's like it's cool. It's cool to have a certain beat that's something that you just passed off and shit like that. But if I'm working with a new artist, someone who I've never worked with, I want to craft a different sound and
Yeah,
some shit like that too.
yeah.
That's where Timbaland fell off with the definition out from LL and shit.
Hmm. Exactly. But those beats were just bad. I don't know who he made that for. He couldn't have made
Jay,
that for LL because you gotta respect
Jay,
LL, man. You're not going to give LL the shittiest of shit, and then you're going to give Justin Timberlake and Missy all the heat.
exactly,
I don't believe
exactly.
that. So maybe those beats were like just leftovers from shit, and LL just LL. If that's the case, LL is a bad beat picker. Not it ain't Nas. It's LL because if LL had picked all of those beats for that album, that what does that say about him?
Right. Shit, that's saying so. That's interesting. All right. Next song we got is Catalina featuring Life Jennings. Yeah, I've never really been a Jennings fan like that. I'm gonna be real with you. Um, this one was pretty decent. You know what I'm saying? This was produced by Dr. Dre and Mark Botson and everything like that. Too, you know what I'm saying? It was pretty decent. It uses the same sample as Rainy Days. You know what I'm saying? From the first only built for Cuban Links. You know what I'm saying? It was alright.
I like this band, man. It's dope. Dre beat with the pianos and the bass line, and there's a video for this also. But this was a single, and Life Jennings is a dope singer. I don't think he ever got the proper recognition. It seemed like right when he came out of jail, he had like that big buzz, but he kind of like died down. And then he's another one of those artists that end up being on Love and Hip Hop. But
Of course.
it's a dope song. I like it. And I think like for Dre, I don't think Dre goes into projects for different artists and handcrafts the beats. I just think he just makes the beat and the artist picks it out. Because if you give this beat to a Rakim, if you give it to Nas, they're gonna kill it just like Ray did. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I mean, he could. I mean, Dre was he had Raekwon on his label, so he could have you know made different beats just for him. But I think if you give this beat to anybody else, they still gonna kill it.
Right. All right. Yeah, I definitely feel you on that about that shit. Now, my favorite track on this album, "We Will Rob You," featuring Jizza, Master Killer, and Slick Rick. Yo, when I first heard this track when this album first came out, this literally was on repeat on my iPod, like literally, and shit like that. And for y'all young kids who don't know what an iPod is, it's a magical little device that holds like up to thousands of songs and whatnot too. Because I know
I
y'all
still
used
got
to
mine
like,
too. I still got mine.
man, my menu button stuck on me, so it was like no use. I was like, at that point, I was already dealing with Spotify, so I just got rid of that shit.
Right.
But yeah, we will rob you. Um, nice play on the Queen song "We Will Rock You." You know what I'm saying? Coming from that News of the World album. You know what I'm saying? Slick Rick was the perfect motherfucker for this chorus and stuff. Like, I love the homage when it's like, Uncle Ricky, would you read us a bedtime story? The homage, a children's story.
Right.
And Slick was like, nah, I'm gonna tell you one of them old Raekwon crime joints and whatnot too. And I know that they were they. This is not the first time they did stuff together. 'Cause I know Raekwon on the Art of Storytelling album from Slick Rick, which that's an album I definitely have to talk about at some point too, because I have a lot to say about that album. But yeah, this song to me was pretty good. I felt like Raekwon started off right and everything like that too. Honestly, I felt like Master Killer had the best verse. If I had to pick somebody, I love the line where he says, "See, knowledge is the foundation of existence. To know starts the spark of the flow. Wisdom activation of the nation moving. Wise words show approval. Understand the 13 letters." You know what I'm saying? I mean, this was definitely a dope track. We definitely have to talk about that No Set Date album at one point. So
For
yeah,
sure. For sure. I think Slick Rick should have a verse on here. Like he was on the chorus, but I wanted to hear him
I
actually
agree.
rhyme with the other members. You know what I'm saying? And the beat was fire. This should have been a single too. You know what I mean? Like when you get Slick Rick on your track, you gotta have him do a whole verse. You know what I mean? Like he's done verses with a lot of other people. You know what I mean? But this was a banger. I liked it.
Right. I definitely agree with you about that. Track number 20, About Me, featuring Busta Rhymes. Yeah, Busta asked me. You can definitely tell with this beat, it was made like '06, '07. It definitely had like that kind of feel to it and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? But not saying that anything is wrong with it though. Um, you know what I'm saying? Raekwon really did his thing on this track right here too. Busta definitely did his thing on this one. It's not like one of those Busta guest appearances that stops the world and shit like that. Like Chris Brown's "Look at Me Now," but I definitely feel like it definitely shows him at his best element. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Again, another Dre beat. I thought it was fire. You got Bust on this, and I liked his verse. He said, Doc Dre, Bust, shall I rage, see the vision. Most of you niggas still in disbelief. This came into fruition. Now pop the cork up off of this bottle and you pour it. So euphoric. Document this moment. Shit is so historic. Loved his verse. It was dope to hear Buster and Ray and Buster's been on other unreleased joints with Raekwon. Like a lot of them, of course, they didn't make the album, but he's on other joints that were unreleased with him.
Right. Yeah, man. That's one thing about Busta and shit like that. Anytime when it came to like the East Coast and shit like that too. Y'all had to support the East Coast cats. I mean, I don't appreciate what he's saying about the whole hip hop origins thing. That's another story for a different day. And shout out to my homeboy Eric. He already read Buster Fulfilled every time we mention his name and shit like that. So that's another. Yeah, I mean, that's. I might have to do a video on that one day because it seems like every time I look on the news, some rappers talking about, oh, hip hop started at this place, hip hop started at this place. I was like, damn, hip hop don't start in the Bronx no more and shit. You know what I'm saying?
I
Because
don't get it.
like Yeah, I don't fucking get it. It's like this shit didn't even start till like the hip hop 50th anniversary and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because now you have cats like what's his name, Pete Rock. I think Pete Rock said like the reggae records that people were sampling, the bass lines that people were sampling, hip hop started in Jamaica and shit like that. Which again, it's a lot of shit. Because I was under the impression hip hop started August 11th, 1973
Right.
by Cool Herc and his sister. I was under that impression, but hell, this is 2024. It's like when shit is left, shit's right now and stuff. Everyone's exposing motherfuckers and shit. So hey, what do I fucking know? I wasn't even alive that time. Shit, what do I fucking know? But yeah, but anyway, yeah, that's what I have to say about that. Um, Track number 21, Mean Streets, featuring Ghost, Inspector Deck, and Sugar Bang Bang. Um, this one was pretty dope too. This was produced by Mathematics. Not really one of my favorites, but it was pretty decent.
Yeah, it was alright. It was okay.
Yeah, definitely. And the last track on this album is Kiss the Ring, featuring Master Killer and Inspector Deck. This uses a dope Elton John sample, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. You know what I'm saying? Again, this was another joint. I don't know if I would have ended the album off with this track, to be real with you, but I'm not saying that it's a bad track either. You know, I like the beat. I feel like this is the best beat Scram did on this album, to be real with you. So, yeah,
Yeah, this was fire. I love this beat. Inspector Deck killed it, and he did the chorus. His verse was fire. He said, "When I step inside, kiss the ring, woo familiar, like Copa Nostra, it's our thing. So saluting, toast to the best who done it. Murder rap shit, I spit for the vets who love it. Black Jesus, check my walk, check my talk. Legend in the flesh, and I rep New York. Loved his flow. That beat was fire. Like this should have been the single also. I mean, I know that you can't release everything on here, but this was like one of my
right,
favorite.
definitely.
Are we gonna talk about the extended version? It's 30 tracks on this album.
Well, I'm not going to talk about every track because I haven't heard like all those bonus tracks, to be real with you. But I can't talk about. I've heard the Badlands years ago. I
Right.
remember liking that track.
Okay.
Um, the new Rule remix. I think I heard that years ago. I didn't feel like that song needed a remix. To
Yeah.
be real with you,
It didn't need a remix.
yeah. I mean, if you have anything to say about the bonus tracks, I'm down. You can say what you want to say.
Walk with Me was a bonus. That had a dope beat. Badland, like you said. Ghost was on that. He killed it. There's another song called Never Used to Matter featuring Bun B. That was fire. There's
I remember that track too.
another song called Rock Stars and Smoking Barrels, and that had like a dope beat. It was like with like some bluesy guitars on it. There was some chick that was singing also on that one. You know, the other joints they had like you said like the new Woo remix. There was another remix that they had on there, but it wasn't like they needed remixes for those songs because they wasn't like big hit records. You know what I'm saying? So um, I do want to mention some of the songs that over the years that he's done because this album took like at least a good 9 to 10 years to come out. He has like a ton of unreleased songs that didn't make this album, and they end up making like the Vatican mixtapes and other mixtapes. But there was like others that I wish should have been on here. He had a song called "State of Grace" that I think the RZA had did that beat, and the "State of Grace" remix also had Busta Rhymes on it. That was like on one of his mixtapes. That should have been on here. He had a song called "Baggage Handlers." It was like a real short track. Um, Busta is on the chorus for that one. Baggage Handlers
Right.
on here. He had a song called Apple Jacks. That should have been on here. It's like a shitload of songs that didn't make the album. You know what I'm saying? But those are like some of my favorites over the years that I felt like it should have been on this official release instead of like putting the new Woo remix or a different version of House of Flying Daggers. He should have had those other songs on this album.
Exactly. Come on, right? But yeah, man. Overall, this album to me is a very, very, very good follow to Only Built for My Cuban Links. You know what I'm saying? But there are a few missteps I do want to pinpoint. But I want to start off with the pros first. I definitely feel like, with this album, Raekwon sounded focused as hell with this joint right here. You know what I'm saying? A lot of songs definitely calls back. There was like a lot of reference calling back to the original Cuban Links, which I do appreciate. The guest appearances definitely did a thing on this album as well too. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time too, as a sequel to one of the greatest hip hop albums of all time, even though I do feel like it's a worthy follow up, there was sometimes I kind of say to myself, what really happened if RZA really fully produced this album? Not saying that the production was bad, because the production was very good for the most part, but at the same time, the production was so inconsistently consistent. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I say that is because just look at the five producers. Like, you had Pete Rock on his album. You had Scram Jones. You had Jay Dilla. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, all great producers, all very great producers. But let's count the Wu Tang productions on this album. Ice Water Productions did Code Outside. RZA did Black Mozart. He also did New Wu. Um, Ice Water did Canals, excuse me. True Master did Fat Lady Sings. Mathematics and Mean Streets. So that's pretty much six Wu productions on a 22 track album. I'm just talking about the OG, the
Right,
retail version.
right.
That's insane. You know what I'm saying? That's fucking insane. And don't get me wrong. I know it's 2009. I know it's 14 years. I know it's 14 years after Only Built for My Cuban Links 1. But at the same time, it's just like when one does a sequel album and stuff like that, you don't want it to be too far away from its authentic roots. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I kind of felt like, like I said, I felt like, it was this album was still connected to its roots, but at the same time too, if one wants to like let's trying to get into wait, don't do this. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I would not start off with this one. But I do feel like this album is literally the best hip hop album of that year too. I felt like, this album is one of the strongest post Supreme Clientele hip hop albums when it comes to the Wu Tang. And on that note, I'm going to end this review off positively. I'm going to give this a 4.5 out of 5.
Um, I loved it. I think, and you said this a long time ago. RZA don't have it anymore. We started to see the decline. The minute he got, the bigger that he got in Hollywood and scoring movies with Quentin Tarantino and
Right.
becoming an actor himself, he was doing less Wu Tang related stuff. He was doing less Wu Tang production. If you listen to Iron Flag, he ain't produced everything on Iron Flag. Same with 8 Diagrams. You know what I'm saying? He had other producers come in at that time. Even with the Wu Offspring groups, he wasn't producing their stuff anymore like that. He might have did like one song, two songs here and there. You know, um, Raekwon had to looking at the landscape and where RZA was at in his career. He had to go outside of the RZA and get a different sound for the sequel. You know know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because if you left it up to RZA, this album would have been horrible. And
Exactly.
he had to look at it like, yo, RZA, I love you, but you ain't got it no more, bro. Let me go outside of the clan and get my wish list together, and let me get my producers: Pete Rock, Eric Sherman, Scram Jr. Who else he had on there? Marley Marl. You know what I'm saying? Necro of all people, like he got Necro. Necro don't usually produce for a lot of people like that. He only do shit for himself. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
he had to come up with his own wish list of producers to do this sequel with. Because if none of them, if everybody said no and left it up to the RZA, this album would have been trash. And I commend Ray for going outside of, at that time when you hear Cuban Link 2, you're thinking, oh, RZA's gonna come back to do everything. No, he's not, because he didn't have it. He still don't got it no more. You know what I'm saying? When he does, when Cuban Link 3 comes out, RZA is not gonna do that whole album. I guarantee you that. There's gonna be other people on here. You know what I'm saying?
I
Now,
feel like they should do a
I've
part
always said,
three.
like, yo, they have they have their own stable of producers. You got True Master, you got Fourth Disciple, you got Mathematics, you got Bronze Nazareth. How come nobody uses Bronze Nazareth
That's a good question.
for a Wu Tang album? Like Bronze Nazareth has done stuff with Don Pacino in his solo career, but none of the Clan members use Bronze Nazareth. You know what I'm saying? They have their own Wu Element stable of producers. They don't need to use RZA no more. They can use the other producers in that stable. You know what I'm saying? But because like the Wu fans are so used to hearing RZA, it's like if you don't attach RZA to this particular project, people are gonna they're gonna have their doubts about it. And I think that's wrong. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna do Cuban Link 3. That is the end of the trilogy. And when that comes out, RZA's not doing the whole album for that. I'm telling you. Unless he has a vault full of like unreleased beats from like the 90s RZA, he ain't doing that whole album. And Raekwon shouldn't let him do it either. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was brilliant. Of that took a lot of guts for Ray. Even like when Immobilarity came out, I love Immobilarity, and I seen Antoine say it too. Immobilarity was dope. I did a whole album review on that years ago. Check it out. I always
I
said
remember.
for that album, he said I'm not using RZA for my sophomore album, and he could have used RZA because this was like '99. Like RZA was he still had it. He said no, I'm not using RZA for that album. I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna use Pete Rock and I'm gonna use these other producers and get my American Cream team together. And I thought it was a banging album. Again, people slept on it because RZA had nothing to do with that album. You know what I'm saying? But you still got like some Wu members on there. Method Man is on that album. You had Master Killer on that album. You know what I'm saying? But he had guts to say for this sequel, I'm not using RZA for everything. You could do one or two tracks, but I'm gonna tap in with Dre and Pete and everybody else that had the heat, still got the heat. You know what I'm saying? I think this album is phenomenal. There's a shitload of songs. Like depending on what release you have, the US release is like 22 songs. Then like there's another version with like 24. Then there's another version with like 30 songs.
Jesus Christ.
So that tells you how. And I tell you, he has a shitload of unreleased songs that didn't make this album. Like all of those mixtapes he was releasing, the Vatican mixtapes and the Heron mixtapes, all those other mixtapes that he had. Those are like the unreleased joints that didn't make this album. And it's so many to choose from that any of them could have been on this album. But this album was phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? And he brought in Ghost again and having the other Wu members and bringing in Jada and Styles and you know, it was phenomenal. I love the Beanie Siegel's on the track and you know this is the way to do a sequel to a legendary album like Cuban Link. You got to do it the right way. AZ, same thing with him, and the fact that they didn't rush to do it, like they took their time. I think Ray took way too long to do it though. But AZ, even AZ, like how many times we hearing about Do or Die 2? And that was gonna be his last album, and he took his time with it. You can't rush a sequel to a classic album. They took their time with it. You know what I'm saying? Ghostface is coming out with Supreme Clientele Part Two, and I think that's gonna be another great album. And he's taking his time with it. They're not rushing it out. You know what I'm saying? But it's so many bangers on here. Like, and he had a shitload of singles that he. That's like, not ready to do that, like something shit like that. Like he did a lot of videos for this album. You know what I'm saying? And joints like Pyrex Vision and Ason Jones. I love that ODB tribute. 10 Bricks, The New Woo, Surgical Gloves, Catalina. Like, every joint sounded banging. Every joint was different from the last. That's how you got to do it. You know what I'm saying? And um, I loved everything about it, and just having like the iconic album cover, recreating that with the purple, undertone in it. It was great. This is a 5 night classic to me. Um, it is the best rap album to me of 2009. That was a year that a lot of bullshit came out. From some big names like Jay, but this to me is like the best album of that year. Like, it was great, and I think for another 20 years we'll still be talking about this album, like we talked about the original.
Definitely. All right. Well, this was a fun, epic review we just did.
Yeah,
I
and I
gotta,
did that by myself because I know Reg didn't like that album, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna do this review by myself, and it was great. You know what I'm saying? I had a great time reviewing it, and that's still, even though Ray don't like it, he don't like that album, but I like it and you like it, so that makes two Raekwon fans that appreciate the mobility.
right. All right. I got a few announcements I gotta make before I head out. So tomorrow at 11 p.m., we actually gonna do Justin Timberlake's Future Sex Love Sounds. Yes, you guys heard
What?
that
You
right.
wanna Justin Timberlake? What? Is the world coming to an end? Are aliens landing? Because you don't like Justin Timberlake. So the fact that you're doing
No,
a Justin Timberlake album review, either
I know.
it means two things: either you like this album, or you're gonna shit on it because you can't stand Justin Timberlake.
I like this album, but there's still some stuff I have to shit on. You
You are
know,
crazy. What I can't wait to hear what you don't like about his
this
second
is
album.
actually, believe it or not, this is actually my favorite Justin Timberlake album. Believe it or
Wow,
not.
you mean your only
And
one because you don't like him.
I'm not. I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of this artist, but mind you, I had this shit planned before his drunken shenanigans.
Wow.
Just letting y'all
Should I
know.
tag Justin in this just to let him know, like, yo, somebody that can't stand your white ass. He actually talking about your album. He actually talking about your album.
Yeah, because you know
Now,
why?
just
Because
one day and say, yo, I gotta give props to Justin.
because this is the only Justin Timberlake album I'm only gonna do on my channel.
Wow.
I'm
So
not
you
gonna
didn't you
do
didn't like the first one. You don't like 2020 Experience. You don't like his other stuff.
2020 was yeah. There was like 3 songs I liked from that album.
3 songs. What?
Yeah,
Wow.
and most of them sounded the same to me.
You're,
But
you're crazy.
hey,
And
hey, but the only gripe I have with Future Sex Love Song, one of the gripes, keyword, one of the gripes. I wish they would have had the remix with Until the End of Time with Beyonce on that
all right.
album because that's the
Wow.
best version. But that's you're gonna tell you more about that tomorrow. That's all I gotta
Listen,
say.
Beyonce fucking forced away on that remix. He didn't need Beyonce
Forced
on it.
away.
Yes, forced away on it. He
Timberlake
didn't.
forced his way on black culture. What you mean?
He did not. What you mean? He did not need Beyonce for that song. It was
Yes,
always
he
good
did.
without her.
Yes, he did.
No, he did not.
He needed a
It
black
was
person for that song. But
Justin
we'll talk
Timberlake can
about
do
that.
ballads. He's done
We'll,
ballads without other people on it. You know that, right? You know that,
yeah,
right?
but
He's done ballads
but
without
most of
other
them
people.
suck.
He didn't need Beyonce. Beyonce bamboozled her way on there.
Look, okay, stop that.
Okay,
That's
she
one
she
thing.
forced her.
Hey,
She
hey,
said
hey,
she said I am Mrs. Carter, and you're gonna get me on this remix, or
hey,
I'm shutting your shit down. That's what
hey,
happened. She used her Rockefeller
nah,
power.
nah, nah. We
She
not
used her
supposed.
Illuminati black
Hey,
card on
she
Justin Timberlake.
added. She did to that song what Tamar Braxton did to that Robin Thicke song. Best thing I ever
What?
had.
Oh my god.
You remember that song, right?
No, I don't. 'Cause I
Oh,
didn't
I'm gonna
listen to
send it to
Taylor
you.
Braxton.
You-
She's all about
Tamar,
drama.
Tamar
I
got
ain't
some
listen to
key.
Taylor. I didn't
Tamar
listen
got
to
some
Taylor.
key. Tamar got
Yeah,
some
the
heat.
fact that you're putting Tamar Braxton in the same sentence with Beyonce, that's a problem.
No, okay. First of all, it was an example, but at the same time too, both Tamar and Beyonce are different stratospheres. And
Beyonce
what?
bum rushed Justin Timberlake to get on that
We'll,
remix.
we'll
He
talk
did not
about that
need her on
tomorrow.
that
We'll
remix.
talk about it
He did not need her on
tomorrow.
that remix. That's
The
that
rest of my
song was great even without her being on it. Because that's just the type of singer that he is. Like he can do ballads by himself. You
yeah,
don't
but most
need
like
Britney
I said,
Spears or Beyonce or Jessica
like I
Biel.
said,
None of you don't need nobody on his ballads.
well, I just sent you that Robin and Tamar song, and that's a remix too. See, sometimes you just need a white man. Sometimes they just need a good black woman to add some more
Oh,
soul to when they.
so Beyonce gives him what the street cred
I'm not saying street cred. I'm just saying some soul.
because she's so street, right? She's so street. She got street cred herself, right? Any street cred she got because of Jay.
You putting words in my mouth. You putting words in my. I said
He
soul,
already
not
had the
street
street cred from Timberland and Pharrell. He didn't need no more street cred, so
street
he already
cred.
had it. He already
Timberlake,
had. He had the
man.
clips. He had
We'll
the clips in his
we'll
first
talk
single.
about this. We'll talk about this
He already
tomorrow,
had the
man.
street cred.
No, 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 no. Let's not put Timberlake and street cred in the same sentence.
What you mean?
This
He
nigga
already
was in
had
the
it.
Mickey Mouse Club.
So,
Ain't nothing
so,
street
so,
about
so, so
ain't
y'all
nothing
give
street
Robin
about
Thicke a
Mickey
pass,
Mouse.
but not Justin Timberlake. Y'all give John B a pass, but not Justin Timberlake.
Who gives John B a pass? I mean John B is John B. See, with John B, he knows exactly what he is.
He's white. That's
He
what he is.
knows
What you mean?
exactly what he is.
Justin know he
Timberlake
white too. What you talking about?
Timberlake was the one partying with all the niggas and shit. Let's be
Oh,
real.
oh my lord.
See, yeah, thank you, Ray Sean. He has Scissor on another song called The Other Side. Thank you. Thank you. Again,
So,
he
so
wants to have a
SZA
black.
gives Justin Timberlake his street cred now. We
See,
going by
you're
SZA?
the one who's using this magical word called street cred. I'm not using street cred and shit. But anyway,
The man
but yeah,
knows he's white. He can see it every day. He's not like us. He knows that. But he got his street cred from Timberland and Pharrell. Because you think
no,
if they had like those, he NSYNC was getting songs written by Brian McKnight and shit. He's black. Last time I checked.
well, he's black, but at the same time, we disowned him recently, so that's not even helping the case at this point. I mean, shit.
Yeah, he had
We
Brian
disowned,
McKnight
we disowned us.
and the Neptunes. So he was already going in this area. We saw this happening. He said after we break up, I'm going to the black side, which is what he did. It happens, Robin Thicke did it too. Blurred
Well, that's
Lines, like
different.
Bloodlines was a hit because of who was on it, T.I. and Pharrell.
Well, again, Robin Thicke, at first, he was a long-haired hippie and
Okay.
everything like that too.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep, but he
he
had
did
black
have a
wife.
similar approach, but he
Black
didn't
wife, though.
appropriate. He didn't
His wife was
appropriate
black.
black culture like Timberlake did. He
His
didn't.
wife
He
was
didn't
black.
appropriate.
His wife was
Huh?
black. His wife was
I
black.
know his wife was black, and look what
John
happened.
B's wife
He cheated
was
on
black.
he cheated on his black wife to go chilling with the white girls and shit. Look at him now.
That's his issue. I'm talking about the music side. He had a pass.
And
So,
yeah, he made a whole album called Paula, and that was trash.
hey, I didn't hear that one. I skipped that one.
You say, oh, you didn't hear that one.
I didn't hear that one.
Oh,
Nope. I heard
if
some
you
of his
want to
albums.
laugh, listen to that album.
I heard some of his. I have the
If you want
first
to
one.
laugh, listen to that
The
album.
last one that he did. He's a good singer, but Robin Thicke.
Wait,
knows
when
what
you
he-
mean his first one, do you mean
the first one when he had the long hair with his wife? His wife. That's actually what his wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
yeah, I
one.
know.
And the last one he did, like, was it in heaven something? I got that one, but he knows what he is. He's a white boy doing R&B. Like, he knows what he is. He doesn't. I don't feel like he tried to step over his boundaries and shit. Justin Timberlake knows he's a white man doing soul music and pop. He's a pop artist still, though. He's not an R&B artist.
We'll see.
Compared to Justin Bieber, who all of a sudden now he's doing R&B.
Don't even get me started on that. Anyway, so this Saturday we're going to do the Wayans Brothers sitcom retrospective. Really can't wait to talk about that. I think I said Saturday at 6. Hold on, let me see the time. I'll look at it, man. I'm not even. But yeah, that's gonna be this Saturday. So yeah, this week we're coming to y'all strong. This week we got some heat coming up this week.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Um, we got a dope movie review coming up next week, which I'm gonna keep that under the wraps for right now. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I'm gonna say for right now. Anything you want to say before we head out?
Uh, I'm gonna go live this week. Go live. I'm back. I'm going live this week. Stay tuned for that. I gotta give you like what we actually gonna talk about though. But we're gonna go live this week.
Okay, what day?
I don't know. One of these days this week, we're going live.
Okay, let me know.
Okay.
All right. And this album is still in print. So if you guys want to find this, I think it's still in print. Yeah.
No, it's not. Is it? Is it?
I've seen some newer copies recently.
Yeah, I gotta get it. I never bought this one.
Me neither. But if you want to get it, this is a must-have and everything like that too. If you're expecting the first only built for Cuban Links, you're gonna get that in some aspects. But just be warned, it's 14 years after. Not everything's gonna be the same. Like what Fat Joe said, yesterday's price is not today's price.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm tired of him saying that shit. I'm just okay, nigga. That's right. Him and DJ Khaled is like they competing for the best catchphrases in hip hop and shit at this point. But hope y'all have a good night. Try. See you later.
All right.
Peace.